And that is who we have been as a culture, as a people. And I think the church affords us a way to do that work and to be that kind of space institutionally. So I just want you to raise your hands if the church has not only benefited you spiritually, but has opened doors for you as far as careers, scholarship, money in your pocket, people shaking your hands and putting something there, people giving you opportunities and sharing your resumes. And that's the world I came from. And I'm thankful that Metropolitan knows that world and is expanding upon those ideas. Allow me to just say a brief word about those who join us here on our panel. We have, as far as our career and AI experts, Courtney Bickert, Metropolitan's own, a social impact and executive search leader, and a senior consultant. Is that DRI or thank you, DRI Waterstone Human Capital. Let's welcome Courtney. We have Nanette Alvey, professional development coach for Canopy Associates, specializes in transition coaching. Would you raise your hand? Welcome. Let's put our hands together for Nanette. Thank you. We have Carolyn Solaru. Thank you. Carolyn Solaru, former State Department employee and turned certified AI consultant, founder of the Resourceologist LLC. AI is here, she says. It can make or break your job search or help you identify resources to build your business. So you say it's not coming?
It's already here.
It's here. Wonderful. And our own entrepreneurship experts, Metropolitan's own Furard Tate, chef, my man, entrepreneur, co-founder of DC's Black Restaurant Week, director of entrepreneurship for the Greater Washington Urban League. And if anyone has wayward children that need to become extraordinary, Furard Tate is a father expert as well. So, he can help your son go to Morehouse and help your daughter achieve her wildest fashion and artistic dreams. So this is a wonderful brother here. We have Aaron Fenwick. Would you raise your hand? Welcome. Administrator with the District of Columbia's Small Business Capital Access Program, also known as DC BizCap, which is part of the DC Department of Insurance, Securities, and Banking, and Angel Livas, former corporate media executive, author, TEDx speaker, entrepreneur, and CEO of the Alive Podcast Network. Put your hands together for Angel Livas. Now, to help our wonderful panel, they need to have a sense of who's in the room, so we're going to do some non-scientific stuff here so they can get a visual of who's in the room. And I think I'm going to ask you to stand up if I may ask you to stand. So we're always in transition one way or another, whether we are just out of school and looking for new jobs or hoping to pivot to new careers, making other moves, and these experts can help us provide us part of the tools and resources to make us successful in our transitions. So I want to ask you to stand if you are just starting out in your career and looking for a job. Let me ask y'all, how many years do you mean just starting out? Give me a number. How many years if you say just starting out? 3 years, 5 years? 1 to 3 years. Please stand if you're new in your career, just starting out. All right. Now, this means you must overinvest over here. We got one. Number 2, if you are a seasoned professional looking for a new job or a pivot in your career, please stand so we can see you. All right. If you are looking to start a business or you're already a business owner interested in growing your business, please stand. All the answers are here. Now, panelists, I'm going to give you 60 seconds to tell us a little bit more about yourself and your story before we get to the question. So, and because this mic has a mind on this, so if you kind of hold it as far away as I'm holding it and keep the cracker to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Angel Livas. It was already stated kind of like my trajectory, but I have worked with amazing individuals. I started, you guys know Tamar Braxton. Anybody? Y'all can talk something. All right, so like I started her show, which we were up for NAACP Image Award. I also started a show for Larry King back in the day. I started a show with US CNN, and then transitioned into being a founder of a media tech company. We built our own proprietary technology to be able to ensure that Black content creators are able to own their content, maintain ownership of their content, while also being able to monetize that content. So our app is the Alive Podcast Network, which you guys can download in your app stores.
My name is Courtney Bickert. I've had many career pivots myself. So I started my career actually in international development, where I spent over 30 years working around the world in various different roles, from on-the-ground project development to executive leadership. And then made a big change a couple of years ago. I did some independent consulting and then started doing recruiting in the nonprofit sector. Now I provide consulting also to nonprofit organizations, from all ranges to very scrappy startups to those in growth mode, and I also do recruiting. So it's been a big career change for me as well, and all of my work is centered around social impact and nonprofit. So looking forward to talking with all of you this afternoon.
My name is Aaron Fenwick. I'm with the Department of Insurance, Securities and Banking. It's a government agency. And with my background, I've been in banking and finance for over 25 years. You may not believe it, but I'm over 45 years old. I got a 25-year-old at home somewhere. But no, I don't. That's okay, though. Get to the perk, right? But primarily what I do is I help support small businesses realize the value in their business by providing access to capital. I've worked with small and large financial institutions. I've ran the C&I division, so I made the decisions for the bank. I reported up to the CEO of the bank. So that's my background, and the goal really is to help you all speak the same language as the lenders as they're making improvements for us.
Well, Pastor, thank you. Well, first, like Pastor said, I'm a child of God and a father that loves being a father. And an entrepreneur. I am the director of the Greater Washington Urban League Entrepreneurship Center. And with that, I help every year over 300 entrepreneurs. Some just have an idea to be entrepreneurs. Others are scaling. Every year for the last 5 years, we've given over $100,000, $10,000 blocks to businesses who had more than just the idea. They had the passion to make that idea become profitable. And I try to get people to understand that if the passion is in line, the idea will bring the profit. And so as an entrepreneur, I'm a social entrepreneur that believes that your business should impact the family and the community in which you are doing business with, not just in, but doing business with. So every day I wake up with the blessing to help other businesses scale on purpose. And on that purpose, we all benefit the profit.
Hi, I'm Nanette Albee, and I'm notoriously bad at quick pitches. But anyway, I started as a teacher and went into teacher training and then facilitation coach. All my life I've been working with groups and with individuals. And I have gone now towards coaching because there's something really special about one-on-one interactions. And I think Reverend Smith said something this morning that really struck me. She was talking about seeds that are inside us. We have a better self inside us. And sometimes we can't access that. So I see myself as a coach as helping you to go through those, and she mentioned that discomfort sometimes, to bring that new self out and to plant more seeds for other people. So the whole image of seeds, I could go on forever, but anyway, that's why I'm a coach. That's why I'm delighted to be here. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Carolyn Solera. A little bit about my background. I spent 25 plus years in federal government and private sector. I recently retired early due to the federal government rift. So when that happened, I didn't look at my glass as half empty or empty. I made a pivot. I became a CPD, Continuing Professional Development Certified, International, Globally Certified AI Consultant. So with that said, I like to pour it back into the communities. I teach seniors, I teach kids, I teach small businesses, nonprofits, government. I just recently got my information to science.gov and I got my cage code, so I'll be doing contracts with government as well. So AI is not coming, AI is here, and everyone in this room can benefit from AI if you understand how to use the tool. Don't overwhelm yourself and know the security, know the privacy, and know what you should do with the tool and not do with the tool. It can make you a whole lot of money.
I want to be like you when I grow up. That's extraordinary. So a couple of questions, and Courtney, we're going to start with you and ask you all to keep your answers as taut as possible so that we can eventually get to what we really want to hear. Those are the questions from those who have graced us with their presence this afternoon. So please provide a brief overview of trends in the job market. What are people hiring for? What are people not being hired for? So I want to pitch this to Courtney and to Carol.
Thank you. State of the job market is difficult, but it's still there. And it's there in lots of different forms. So I'm most familiar, obviously, with the nonprofit job space. And I know that our company, we are still moving along. We still are hiring for nonprofit organizations. I also, in my consulting, I see a lot of more of the scrappy nonprofits where there's lots of different kinds of alternative job opportunities, whether it's a contracting opportunity or a fractional or a part-time opportunity to get a foot in the door. So there still are jobs there. It's definitely an employer's market, but the interesting thing from a recruiting space is because we most often recruit someone proactively and often take them out of a current job into a new job, people are staying in their jobs. So a lot of the jobs that are open now are going to those who apply. It's also still very network based, so it's really important to talk to people, know people like me, know recruiters, get to know us, because there are jobs out there. Primarily tons of jobs in business development, of course, and fundraising. Executive jobs are still available in the primary functional operations, finance, those kinds of things. Digital, AI, and people who know AI, marketing and digital. It's the program jobs, really the specific programs that where organizations are really struggling because that's often where they've lost their funding.
And since Courtney has spoken from nonprofit, could you, Carolyn, speak from, government, you also know entrepreneurship, if you can speak from those two perspectives, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure. To piggyback a little bit what Courtney spoke about jobs, in the job market, there's a lot of AI jobs popping up more than ever. So I would say the people currently working or looking for jobs, learn AI, whether it be finance, business, prompt engineering. Take the skills that you have and layer it over with AI. All the jobs you look at on LinkedIn and other platforms that posting jobs, you'll see a lot of AI jobs. Everything is AI this, AI that. So programming jobs are shrinking because AI can do that. Jobs that are kind of like repetitive things, like I answer the phone, I set the calendar every day. Those kind of like repetitive type jobs, AI can do that. So they don't need humans to do that anymore. So wherever your gift and your skill is, because everyone has one, learn AI on top of it. If you have a skill and you want to learn another skill, AI can help you do that too and transition to a new job as well.
Could you say something, Carolyn, about the state of the government employment, of public sector employment?
Yeah, as far as it relates to federal government, there was a large rift that took place last year, 7/11, I remember that date, about 30,000 plus people lost their jobs. In addition to private sector, there's another rift coming. People don't talk about it, but they have passed out early retirement to people. So there's another rift, there's another potential layoff that's coming for federal government. The jobs I see in federal government, they're opening jobs up for like 5 days, 10 days. They're not open as long as they used to be on USA Jobs. They're kind of shorter. And some of those jobs, they kind of weave in AI a little bit. So the job market, as it relates to government, is, I don't want to say shrinking, but at the same time, they laid so many people off and the work is still there. But then on the other hand, USA Jobs, you say you're hiring. So you're hiring people, but then you're preparing for a risk. Make it make sense. I don't know what they're doing.
And I'm what you asked me to do. But
So I would say, just to add on what you're saying, the government is hiring less internal workers and hiring more companies and contractors to come in to do the jobs. I just want to add that.
oh no, thank you. And Angel also had a wonderful ask that I think is important. And let me let you do the ask.
How many of you in the room are comfortable using AI and currently use it?
Please stand, so we can see. Please stand.
This is wonderful. I'm curious, which tools do y'all use?
Can you shout out some of the tools you use?
All right, hold on. So I did ChatGPT, sit down, and that's the tool. And I'm gonna keep spinning. What's next? Who else? Claude. All right, if Claude's your tool, please be seated. Copilot. Copilot, Canva. Canva's AI too?
Yeah.
All right.
Nobody uses Gemini?
Gemini?
Okay.
Uh-oh. Now, my new friend in the back said it's trash. Gemini's trash. But I'm not going to get into all that. Say it again. Visio. All right. Video. What is it? Hiring Coach AI. You're familiar with it? Okay. All right. Excellent. How prevalent is the use of AI in job search or accessing capital? How can job seekers optimize their online presence to stand out to employers using that tool? Yes, please. Yeah. No. All right. Nanette says she's kicking, so go ahead. Who wants to answer that? About it wasn't just Kelly. You want to say anything? Well, you said something about that. I'm sorry. I will. How prevalent is the use of AI in job searching? Is it pretty prevalent?
It's real prevalent. For people searching for jobs, the AI tool, depending upon which large language model you're using, you can program it and have it bring jobs to you. You don't have to go online and say you're looking, like you automated, you're like looking for a job. You can program it when you wake up in the morning, 8, 9, or 10, in your inbox, it will have the jobs come to you like in an email. Also, AI, when you're looking for jobs, not only you can do that, it also can interview you. You can train to be your recruiter. So if you want to apply for a position and you're not confident, you're not really sure if you have the skill sets, AI can interview you and also can tell you what your skill gaps are and your strengths and your weaknesses. And it also can tell you what skills you need to go get to go after jobs like you're applying for.
Wow. One more question for anyone on the panel who's comfortable. How can job seekers optimize their online presence to stand out to employers? And if it's true, and I hear that companies, I've talked to people, they're like using AI to grab people. So how can you enhance what you have out there so you're the one being grabbed? Please.
I would add some LinkedIn. So some people do use LinkedIn's other platforms, just using that for example. So if you have a project you did, or you did something with AI and you're trying to be noticed and you're trying to apply for a position, use LinkedIn's other platforms, just use that as an example, but put your projects out there, add it to your resume. If you attend Microsoft, IBM, they have free training on these different platforms. When you earn your certificate, put that on Microsoft. If you did a project or you built something with it, put that on LinkedIn so those recruiters can see and find you on those type of platforms.
Your digital presence is everything now. And the more you are out operating on purpose and people see your work and people are seeing your posts at least twice a day, those individuals will do two things. They will be not only impressed about the work that you do, but they will be looking to support you in that work. Just like we said, your network, that network will increase your net worth. And that net worth will allow you to do even more. So post on purpose.
How many of you use LinkedIn? Okay. How many of you have used AI to optimize your description at the top of LinkedIn? Okay, we need to see more hands there. That is one of the ways that you can increase your visibility. AI should not just be a tool that you're looking up and searching for different information. You should be utilizing it to brand yourself. Think about all of the different ways that you want people to find you and what you want them to find you for. Put all of those different prompts in, or think of somebody that is doing the work that you do at a very high level. Train it to understand, okay, this is, write me a description of who I am based on this person. So people will find me based on certain keywords or different phrases that will attract them to you. That's one way that you can really optimize your presence in your own individual brand. The other thing you can do is to train the model to know your business. I saw a lot of people's hands go up around being business owners. You should be utilizing the tool to teach it. That's one of the things that we don't do. A lot of times we're trying to hide our information because we don't want it to go out. You can do that, and that's good for the security. But you should also be training it on, this is this business. This is what this business does. When you think this, and this, if you have a barbershop and it's in whatever location, you should be putting information around what that barbershop is, the location that it is, some of the barbers that are in there. You are teaching the model to let other people know when they are searching, you come up as the optimal result.
Don't just think about a job. I want you to think about an opportunity based on your new mindset. If someone freed you from an opportunity you called your job before, think about that moment. In your freedom, you have the ability now to think about who I am and what do I want to lend this energy, this God spirit to, and do the work with that. And in doing that, you begin to have that mind switch to see that that job is you're working for yourself. Even though someone else is giving you a check, you begin to realize that the check is a value to allow you to be more of who you are. So this check is allowing me to do more of the work that I already do. I just happen to do it with the Urban League. I just happen to do it with whatever company. But you're working for yourself. And when you think like that, you begin to have so many different opportunities come to you, and you won't just look at the day from the 8 hours. You begin to say, how do I maximize this energy of time, whatever that time may be? It might be, I work better at night than I do. And so using AI and using this new environment of your freedom, you can begin to now mold the income connected to your purpose, and you realize that you can work as long as you want. Because I don't have to be laid off, or I don't have to wait for someone else to give me an opportunity to generate income based on what I love to do. You control that.
Thank you. Nanette, how should someone position themselves if they're trying to pivot or transition into a new area? And what are some key considerations there?
I've been coaching quite a few people in the past year that have lost their jobs, and it's very interesting to see how different people respond to this sudden, unexpected change. And some are very, very quick and turning it around and saying, okay, I'm going to start a business, and they're up and running. And other people who are paralyzed by anxiety and they can't get up in the morning, and everything in between. So how do you pivot? I think there is depending on if this change was unexpected and abrupt and involuntary, I think there's a big part of it is giving yourself space and time to grieve the loss and to begin to rebalance yourselves. So I think that's really important. If you're making voluntarily the change, then you're in a little bit more a better space. But what I think is really, really key, and that is that the purpose is your power. Finding your purpose and what you want to do, I think, requires the time it needs to find that. That purpose will then be the engine for helping you move towards it. So I think that's whatever that is for you, and it's all individual.
All right, now this, I think, is for all. Let's just get two panelists to respond. And the question is, when reviewing resumes, and I guess the question is how often are humans doing that as opposed to AI? But the question is whether it's an AI reviewer, and I think this kind of leads into what Angel's already said. When reviewing resumes, what immediately stands out or jeopardizes someone who is seeking an opportunity?
Hi. So oddly, my company, the company I work with, we still don't use AI for the revenue or for the resume screening primarily. But so it actually is humans. But regardless, if you are working with recruiters, recruiters are a specific beast. Recruiters are very conservative typically. And so what recruiters are looking for generally is a keyword checklist and numbers checklists. So when you're applying to something through a recruiter, you're looking at the job description, you're using AI to help you redo your resume so that your resume includes keywords, key experiences from that job description. Then go back and make it your own resume though, in your own words. And if you have a title that is close but slightly different, you you add a descriptor so it fits the keywords. Then wherever you have numbers, number of employees, number of funds raised, that's how recruiters really look at resumes, is through a checklist.
One more, would you give us one more?
I'm access to capital, small business bank, and
All right, gotcha. No, thank you. You wanna?
I think I'm just going to emphasize a little bit what you said earlier. A really good tool, AI is really, really good in helping you. If you uploaded the job description and then your CV and your resume, it's excellent in saying sort of what points are coming out, where is it strong, where is it weak, and I find that to be very helpful.
Here's one. How can you maintain a positive relationship with an interviewer after they have said no? What should you do? How should you handle that? You send a thank you note? You send a pie like the one in the movie?
No. So I'm gonna speak to this for like business owners as well, because sometimes you're going after a contract or you're meeting with a contract officer, or there's so many different layers to like what that opportunity could look like. Definitely still send thank you cards. Like they go a long way. Like people remember it. Most people actually hold on to it. And when they are in need of whatever that service is, they will pull you back out. Another thing that I would say do is still add their email to you if you have a newsletter. So they're automatically getting updates of what's happening with your company and the different things that you're doing in the space that you're already applying to, and showing them like, hey, I'm interested in, and my company can execute on X, Y, or Z.
And no means not right now. Not right now. So you want to keep that relationship, and especially if that company that you applied for aligns with your purpose. Again, I'm not just out here to make profit. I'm on purpose, the work that I do. And so if I apply for a job or I apply to do business with a company and no, not right now, that means I continue to provide a relationship, a bridge that will allow that company to know I'm still doing the good work, and when the right time comes, I'm the right person. So establish those relationships, don't burn the bridge.
At what point do you hire someone, you pass the line, at what point do you hire someone to help you manage your job search? If you have access, at what point do you engage?
Well, I think when we talk about hiring someone, what we're talking about is the juice worth the squeeze. Will you receive the benefit on the dollars that you spend? And I'm not looking for necessarily a job search, but I'd say from entrepreneurs' perspective, we're looking to add employees maybe. That needs to be one of the things that you consider. Anytime you're spending money, what is this money or investment going to give me back in return? If you can't calculate that, then maybe it's not something that you should consider at that time. Even better, if it doesn't give you the benefits that you're looking for, that's not the investment you should make at this time.
How do I find a mentor to help me advance my career? Who wants to jump in? How do I find a mentor?
I'll take this one. So I am very big on LinkedIn. There are so many people who are my mentors, and half of them don't even know that they're my mentor. And that is okay. You do not necessarily have to have an upfront and personal relationship with individuals for them to be your mentor. On the flip side of it, if you need that one-on-one, reaching out to people, like connecting with them, showing that you understand who they are, complimenting them on the work that they're doing on a specific goal that is relevant to what it is that you do. I think another way is like while you're networking, like let people know. I have lots of people who come up to me and say, look, I'm at this point in my career and I would love if I can just call you and be able to, ask certain questions or email you with certain questions. But with those asks come responsibility. Don't waste people's time. If you want a mentor, make sure that you're ready and prepared to do the work. If they're serious about helping you and elevating you, you have to come to the table ready to go.
And be a mentor. Be a mentor. Please, even if you're going through a layoff or whatever, your business is not doing, that's the time to serve someone else. And in that service of others, I guarantee that win is going to be a part of your next win. So sometimes we have to be a mentor.
I think it's really important to think about what you want in a mentor, specifically how do you want to brand yourself and who has that already. Once you identify that, I think it's about marketing yourself to them, having a conversation, being genuine, and also lending yourself as value to them.
And last question before we shift to entrepreneurship. Let me just get as close to a one-word answer as possible. How important is who you know in networking? How important is it?
I'll start with saying extreme.
I would say it's more important with who knows you versus who you know.
That's a good formulation. Anybody else?
Relationships are really important.
Yeah. Anybody else want to jump in?
And what do people know you for? Your reputation is so important. Make sure they know you for what you want to be known for, because you can't hide in this time.
Wow. Well, I think I should pray for us all and we should leave right now. Let's now move to entrepreneurship. With all the market uncertainty, should I be thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, launching my business? What are the risks? What are the rewards of owning my own company? You want to start with Aaron?
Absolutely, I think you should be considering starting your own company. But I think you go back to the planning aspect. You got to know what you're doing. You really have to put the time in to understand what is my business, who are my customers, how are they paying me, what is the infrastructure involved with doing what I need to be doing, and then is it worth it again? The juice worth the squeeze? Is it going to be able to pay me? Is it going to work? Am I going to be able to put in the infrastructure that's necessary? How long is that going to take? What I say about business planning is what you're doing all throughout your business life. You have your infancy, I'm starting up plan. You have your operating plan. How do I get to my next step? And every year you revisit that plan and make adjustments based on what's necessary.
How do I make the pivot from traditional employment to entrepreneurship?
Okay, so I wrote one of my books is on side hustle to main hustle and transitioning into full-time entrepreneurship. And one of the first things that is most important is making sure that whatever that business idea isn't just something that you care about. It has to be a market for what it is that you want to start a business for. And in order to know that there's a market for it means that you have to do your research before you put a dime into any of the development and moving forward with that business. The other thing that you have to identify is who is your target audience? What do they look like? Create an avatar. And it doesn't have to be everybody. Everybody is not your target market. And if that is the way you're going about it, it's not going to go the way that you think. Identify one person. Create an avatar for that person. Is this a woman? How old is she? Does she have children? Is she married? What kind of car does she drive? How much money does she make? What type of school does she go to? Be that specific with who you are marketing to, because then you know how to market to that person. And if you speak the language that resonates, Think of it like this. When you are looking at something and it speaks to you here, like you feel seen, you feel so seen that you feel convicted to act. That is what you have to be able to create and emulate for the person that is your target market.
Service. We are all here to serve. And so when you identify your way of that service, whatever that purpose you wake up for every day, all of us, like the sister said upstairs, I mean, it touched me. We all are a seed. And we all are here to do something. And sometimes going through the internal work to ask yourself, what do I do naturally better than anyone else? And how can I now serve those people who need that from me? Because only you're going to do you. And so with that mindset switch, we're not thinking about how much money I'm going to make, because the money's going to come if you are the best at what you do. And in that comes the system. AI is brilliant. You are able now to use AI to identify the target market. You're able to use it to identify who your best customers is, and you're able to identify how do I best attract those few persons who are ready to pay for the service that I'm willing to do on purpose. So this is the best time to be in business, and don't be afraid to be in business and to also work a 9-to-5 if you need to, because sometimes that financial leverage is the bridge to you being free enough to do it without somebody else paying you.
I'll just add one small piece. No, you were first.
Okay, one of the things I just wanted to add is a little bit of the taking it in the opposite direction. Having worked for myself the last 2 years, and then this year having decided to rejoin in a full-time capacity. And I think I don't know that I'm an entrepreneurship person. And that is something I've discovered. I did love working for myself, but I love working with a team more and as part of a team. And I also enjoy a lot of the stability that this environment provides. So I think it goes both ways. Like, when is entrepreneurship right for me? And perhaps is entrepreneurship my style?
Go ahead. No, man, please. You should. All right, well, here's the next one. At what point can my side hustle become my main hustle?
You start, because I'm handling something real quick.
I see the head.
I'm trying to get out of the car.
So I'm going to talk from a financial perspective and really the way the banks look at it, right? Because a lot of times small businesses are looking for the capital to start their business. So maybe this will help you think about, all right, what capital do I have available to me when I start my business? Banks want to see you have the ability to repay the debt primarily, right? So does your job that you have today help you pay your bills or the debt that you're going to be gaining when you start your business? And I think that's what we got to consider is, yes, I start my business, but is it okay to leave what's paying my bills? If you have an opportunity to make that choice, maybe not. Maybe you transition slowly into it. You wean off of your job. Because starting a business is not as easy as many folks make it out to be. There can be tough times. Income may be unstable initially, and you have to be able to plan and manage around all those things. Having some income baked in already is a good way to do so.
Okay, so I'm gonna share a personal story, because I think that it's one thing to talk specifics of what you should do. I'm gonna tell you what I went through. When I was just after I had given birth to my second son, I lost my job. I had been at a company for over 10 years, and I was an executive there. That is where I created Larry King Show. I did a show for Jane Pauley with the Today Show. I did all types of amazing things. And they looked at me as the young rock star. This is literally what they told me when they let me go. Like, oh, you're our rock star. But I'm sorry, December 8th will be your last day. Real conversation. And in that moment, I had 2 babies, under 2, literally a newborn and a 1-year-old. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, how am I going to transition? So my book and my story isn't concept. It's literally what I did. So I went out, I looked for other employment, but the amount of money that I was making, most places were like, we can't pay that. Or they felt threatened and intimidated that I would take over other people's jobs. So now I am literally like, okay, well, what am I gonna do? Thank God that I was raised by parents who always told me to have something else on the side, right? And so I took that, the skill sets that I had, and all of the work that I had been doing as an executive producer, as a director, and I created my first business. I have not worked in corporate America in over 11 years. My son is 11 right now. And I say this to say that no matter what your situation is today, if you dig deep into that seed, and sometimes it just takes us sitting in silence, and sometimes we have to go through adversity to understand exactly what we are being positioned for. And I always tell people, tap into that seed that is within you so that you can live the life of abundance that God has promised you.
You have copies of this book here today.
No.
No. But tell us how you can purchase
It's online. I actually have one of my other books called It's on Goal Setting, but we can talk about that later.
I just want to add really quickly a personal story of mine, speaking about side hustles and seed and developing yourself. So when my daughter was in elementary, I would send free information on the school website, so much so the parents thought I worked at school. I said, I'm a parent like you. I just share information from A to Z. I would just share information. So that transformed, fast forward, in the workplace, and I was helping people find scholarships, programs, and activities for busy parents. And that's how I came up with the name, the resourceologist. Several people came to me and said, you should start a business. I was doing all this for free. I had a passion. I could do it morning, noon, and night like I do my name. So when the pandemic happened, people making soap and jewelry, I'm like, I need to do something too. So that's how I birthed the resourceologist. Working at the federal government, 2 months before my daughter went to college, the furlough happened. It happened in July. She was off to college late September. She headed out to California. But God sits high and he knows what's going to happen. So in the midst of me being laid off, she was awarded a full merit scholarship to 3 colleges, and she was accepted to 17 colleges. So the Lord knew what was going to happen. I had extra money saved up, emergency savings. I had already started my business while I was working at the State Department. I already had clients, but it was still on the ground because that 9 to 5 had me in a chokehold. It had me in a chokehold. I couldn't be creative. I couldn't think because my mind was the meetings, what my supervisor wanted me to do, what I couldn't do, who was going to let me go to training, whether it's going to give me a raise. When I got freed and got delivered, I wake up every morning with solutions, and I wake up every morning smarter than I went to bed, and I wake up every morning with passion and purpose. I am so creative when I wake up in the morning. I think about solutions to a problem. I'm also an app builder. I build apps for AI too. So if I can do it, you can do it too.
Are you looking for a best friend? Because I want to.
This
And look at me. I want to do.
No, I was just saying, what you just said, I hope you try to see her face. When she started talking about that passion, that's what we do at the Urban League. When people come into the Urban League looking to how do I turn my business, I say, well, what's your passion first? And you found this system.
Thank you. All right, I think that this may be down Brother Aaron's in your wheelhouse. How do I find financing for my existing business?
First, you can come to DISB, Department of Insurance, Securities, and Banking. It's disb.dc.gov. But I think that's.
Do you have resources, partly for those who don't live in the district? Whereby if you live in Maryland or Virginia, what might you do?
Yeah. I think a Chamber of Commerce is a really good place to start, and that's because they have a good listing of a lot of different organizations that you can get funding from. When you're looking for funding, you don't want to go to one place only. First thing you do is start with your bank where you have a relationship. Start to build that, but you should have about 3 to 4 other institutions that you work with. There's these things separate from banks called CDF eyes. Community development financial institutions, they do funding for banks, but they don't require your deposit accounts, and not some you a whole bunch of other stuff. And they actually they're not-for-profits who get their money from banks and other organizations like that who will fund them because they recognize that they're not doing as much funding as of businesses like yourselves. So that's a resource. Your grant makers are definite resources as well. So get engaged with your local government. Start connecting with them. Your chamber of commerce events. Get connected with what I call the ecosystem of organizations, of lenders and funders, of organizations and technical systems providers, of organizations who are put in place to make sure that they support businesses like yourself. I'd say that's the first place to start.
I would say another place to start, depending on what type of company you're building, is to go through accelerators. Accelerators have a lot of funding. When I first launched Alive, we became a Techstars portfolio company backed by JP Morgan. And so my first 100 and maybe 50,000 came from that, right? And this is not money that you have to pay back. This is investment money. Another way that you can get it is from angel investors. There are a lot of different organizations that you can look up. How do I get connected to angel investors? There are syndicates. All of these different ways of having money come into kind of investing in your vision, they're available to you, just like you mentioned, like grants.
Look at the money you already have also. A lot of us utilize our dollars for image more than empowering our vision. Begin to cut away from some of the stuff you waste money on and realize that every dollar has a purpose. So look at the money you already have and divide to say, this is what I need to live on, not to look good. And to realize that this is what you need to live on, that gives you your base. Like these two just said, Washington is rich with services. There's so much grant money out here, but when you manage your money right, because you change your mindset, you will begin to realize that the flow of money is going to come to you in so many ways, your family, your friends, and your customers.
All right, thanks, Chef. I think we've already asked this question, but if someone has additional insight, how can AI be used as I develop myself entrepreneur? Can you think of any strategies that may be used?
How can you use AI to?
Yes, if you are a budding entrepreneur trying to, like you said, get things off the ground, and how might AI be of assistance? If that makes sense?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
AI can be an assistance no matter which platform you use. And I said earlier, you need to train the model so the model can know you. Any question you have, put it into AI, whether it's starting a business, looking for grants, loans, even a career coach, even somebody that's going to look at your resume. Everyone that spoke on this panel, use the large language model and ask a question. Some people are better at prompting than others. If you're not really sure what to ask and how to ask, at the end of that question that you put into the model, ask it to ask me questions that I didn't think of. Because people around the world have been using this large language model. The IQ is only like 155. So it knows a lot. So you can use AI to help you. It's there. It can help you.
Thank you. Now, beloved, we're shifting, and in order to maximize what we have, I need you all to be brief, but we want to hear your questions, and I want to give you larger meta view. You have to have your car out of the garage by 3 o'clock. You have to be out of this space by 2:30 because Metropolitan is gifting to the CDC the security. Metropolitan has to have security. We're gifting that to the CDC, but those who keep us safe need to go home at 2:30. All right? So that's why I want to make you aware. Let me hear questions from you all for this extraordinary panel. Then we will move to the tables that are here to help folks. So again, yes, very quickly, yes. Start here.
Mine wasn't a question, it was just a point about the last statement she made.
Okay, we will do the questions.
I use AI for marketing strategy. I ask it to develop marketing strategies for me.
Thank you. Questions, not statements, questions.
Thank you so much, panel. Could you be more specific when you say learn AI? Because there's different levels of what that means. Could you help the audience know what that exactly what you mean?
Yes, when I speak about learning AI, it's almost like 7 levels, right? You hear some people say, I want agents, I want bots, I want to do prompt. When I say learn AI, from the beginning, always get your foundation. Know what artificial intelligence is. Know how to use it. You can ask the model, Claude, Chat, Perplexity, not Gemini, but you can ask it. It's okay. But you can ask it, I'm trying to learn AI as a beginner. Walk me through how to understand AI and how to use it like a 5-year-old, like an 11-year-old. It will help you.
You can ask AI that directly?
Directly, yes.
Okay, I have another question. So, my LinkedIn page has garnered people reaching out to me and saying, hey, why don't you come interview for this job? And sometimes it's jobs that I don't see myself as that's what I do, but I like the dollar sign. So I wonder, when she was saying, what's the cost? I was like, oh, what's the cost? But anyway, that's the sermon earlier, it's just a side thought. So how would someone, they tell you, I want to see your CV to fit this. I know I could use AI to do that. But I have trouble sometimes seeing myself in a position that I didn't see myself in. And how do you approach that and just do it and just see what happens? I think I need a coach.
No, I'm pointing at you. No, I'm pointing at you. Okay. Yeah, sure. The first thing that comes to mind is when you're applying for a job and someone says, oh, come on in and interview, you are interviewing them as much as they're interviewing you. Do I want to be here? And I think that's really important. On the other side, it depends what your circumstances are. I mean, if you're in a situation where that income is critical, you're going to be looking at it in a different way, criteria. But I think mostly it is, you want to find a job where you're going to be happy, you're going to thrive, and you're going to grow. And it's not just the job itself, but it's the people inside there and the relationship. What's the culture inside there? It's really worth doing a lot of homework before you say yes.
One more thing for Angel here.
I heard something slightly different. I heard you say you saw or you were presented with an opportunity that you didn't know if you were qualified for. That's what I heard.
They think I'm qualified.
No.
I think I'm not.
It's a stretch, and
It's a different direction than I saw myself.
so one thing that I think research has shown is that a lot of women refuse to apply for certain jobs unless we have all of the boxes checked. And so I would just encourage you to think about it differently, and maybe use AI to put in, these are your skill sets, this is what they're looking for, how can I bridge that gap? Or maybe it's something that you automatically do that you don't look at as how they're defining it. That happens a lot as well.
I'd like to.
Yes, let's say here, and then we'll hear Hope's question and keep it moving.
So I think the first step is making sure that AI knows exactly who you are. What is your skill sets? What work did you do? All the above. Make sure that they clearly know who you are and they'll remember that. And then what you could do, I think similar to what was being said, was input the job description that you're looking for or that you were referred to. How do my transferable skills relate to this specific position description? And AI can give that to you line by line. But the first step is you have to interact with AI to the point where it understands exactly who you are, what your skill sets are, what you do.
All right, again, we have a question from Hope. Again, questions, not statements, questions. Thank you.
Yes, hi everyone. My question is, do you believe age discrimination is real? And if so, how would you combat that?
Well, I ain't even on the panel, and I want to say yes. But who wants to jump in? Yes.
Yes, I think age discrimination is real. I have to say, how do you combat it? I still think, and I have seen, and I have placed people who are older, because at the end of the day, it's showing your skill match, your experience match to what they are hiring for. And so I think it's compatible by showing the match in your materials and in your interview process?
Chef, real quick.
Sister, use it as your advantage. You have earned and you have learned. Use AI to identify how do I put my age and my experience as an advantage.
Wow.
And it goes both ways. Age discrimination also happens to younger people. So I want to be very clear. I think a lot of times we think of it as just older people, but it definitely happens to younger people. There are a lot of times I walk in rooms and people are like, who's this little white girl?
Yeah.
So it definitely ends up being how do you show up and how do you show out when you have the mic and the attention is on you.
This is a great panel because they're flipping the way we're thinking. Thank you so much. Clearly, my man, Sam, go ahead.
Yeah, just a point. How important is it to fill out the survey at the end of applications? African American, Black, White, Hispanic, not a veteran. Because as a Black man out here, it's. I think that's the elephant in the room that has to be mentioned. It's a little harder for Black folk out here. So just wondering what approaches you take in that regard, and is it relevant to fill out that survey?
Yeah, I mean, it's a double-edged sword, I think, in many cases. What I'll say to you is what it does is it allows folks to see the disparities, things of that sort associated with the demographics. So a lot of the research and reports that you heard over the last 5 years, if we never filled out those reports, you would never heard of those things. But at the same time, I understand the concerns of saying, well, if I illuminate the fact that I'm a minority right now, will it deter my ability to get whatever I'm looking for? So that is a challenge, but I'd say that it's important for your information to get put there. But if you're looking for funding and things like that, you should know the people that you're requesting funding for from the get. In most cases, and they know who you are if you've met them and had some conversation.
Yeah, just from a recruiting perspective, like as a recruiter looking at that data, I would say it's not necessary to fill it out because nobody's really looking at that in terms of matching resume to the position. That said, from in a recruiting world, it's generally going to serve as a positive, actually.
So, Kalola, you said, so fill it out. So should you fill it out?
Yes.
Yes? Yes. You good, Kalola? Thank you. All right, next question.
I have a quick question about.
And hold on, just want to make sure you see what you got all these over hands around. I got you. Yeah, go ahead.
So, for entrepreneurs who are in the service industry, their biggest capital oftentimes their intellectual property. So, how do you protect that when using AI?
So for me, intellectual property, I made sure that for intellectual property, for me, I work on the app right now, so I paid $65 to have it copyrighted. I have a friend who built that app that help you trademark your stuff. There's no longer you have to go out and pay an attorney all this money. There's other services out there you can do to trademark your stuff. So AI will give you a list of things you need to do. I'm in the AI world, also got additional insurance because AI does hallucinate no matter how much I train it, no matter how much I say what I needed to do. So I protect myself. I have insurance for AI, so no one can come back to me and say this information came. So you have to protect yourself. Intellectual properties, copyrights, insurance, and AI will give you additional information.
Can you give her the mic, please? Give her the mic. Give her the mic. Thank you.
Sorry. I get the trademarking and stuff, but I'm specifically interested in how do you make sure your information doesn't become part of the large language model that people can pull from and not cite you and
You can turn the settings off. There, in the settings, there are different things that you can go to. So it's kind of like what I was saying earlier. Sometimes when you're searching, you have those settings off, or if you're like using it for like your internal purposes, you can turn that off. You would just make sure you turn it back on for the things that you want people to be able to find and aggregate that information.
All right. Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
Hi. How do you encourage ethical usage of AI? Because I'm an art director, and a lot of issues that I've been asked about but haven't run into personally is how it affects my ability to get any work, either as an entrepreneur or as an employed individual. And artists that I've worked with and have brought in for contracts have experienced their art getting stolen, trained into models, etc. And I think it's really important to explore how important it is to still think about that.
Who wants to jump in there? Ethical use of AI. If I leave it to you. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe.
I would say for art, I would go back to the panelists that said, turn the model off. So if you're doing artwork and you have the model on, then anyone can access the information that you're uploading to the model. So for me, if I have something I want to do in my business, my models are off. I have memory on because it remembers what I'm working with. But for me to help OpenAI, Claude, and Furard Tate, I had that turned off.
Hey, brother, give me the mic. Make sure you keep the mic until everybody's.
She said, are you using it to design and create?
Could you ask again, sir?
Yeah, are you using it to design and create, or are you using it to just get ideas?
I'm using it to design and create. So I built a CRM system. There's something called Go High Level. I didn't pay the hundreds of dollars for Go High Level. So I went on Lovable and Claude. I built my own CRM system. So once again, it's off and memory is on. I have friends in my ecosystem, they're certified AI consultants. They do architect work, they design things for houses, they do things like that. I have people applying, they do art. They, once again, they have it off and they have the memory on. So if you have it on, then anyone can have access to your information. If you, that same question that you just asked me, type into a large language model, it'll give you step by step what to do.
Yeah, my concern is more so on the ethics of using AI for creative purposes, mostly because I work in entertainment and music, and there is the issue of AI starting to step into music writing rather than getting used as a tool that's being used to replace songwriters.
Right, and I created music as well. I use Gemini and I create some songs as well. So I'm not an artist, I'm not a writer, but I played around with the tool. So I know a lot of people have created music. So when I did the music, I thought that music was gonna go viral and I can make money on it. Once again, my memory is on. And for the network, the large language model, I had that off. So there's a lot of people creating music. I do understand your point about you being an artist and things you do and people going out trying to steal or get your information. So best thing I can tell you for a large language model is the memory stays on and the trainer model stays off. But if you go to Claude, I wouldn't use chat for this. You put that same question you just asked me, you put it into a large language model, it'll give you an answer.
Yeah, my concern is more surrounding classical skills.
She has something to add.
I feel like you're asking how do you protect the artist when individuals can go in and create their own? Is that what you're asking? Okay. So, unfortunately, there really is not a solution for the artist but to get on board and to understand what limitations exist within AI. As an artist, AI can never replicate and duplicate all of the work that an actual artist can do. However, it's imperative. You can't be afraid of it. You can't be like, oh, I don't want to go in and understand how it works. You have to like face it head on, be able to dive in, see how it is creating music, see how it is creating lyrics and all of those different things, and then use it like the understanding of its limitations to make sure that you can stand out. And when you know the deficit that exists within whatever it's creating, then you can use that as you are talking to other people around. This is how my work shows up that cannot be replicated, that cannot be duplicated. And this isn't just true for artists and people who create music, it's true for us in the creative space, period. Because for us, I can type into certain platforms, Riverside, I can type my script and it will voice exactly what it is that I've written out. So it can replace people who are on radio, it can replace people who are editing. So many different careers are in jeopardy per se if you do not understand the limitations that AI actually have. And I would actually encourage you to create something better for people who have those artistic gifts, for people to be able to utilize, and that can be another revenue stream for them.
Thank you very much. I think you will have some wonderful conversation partners. Thank you. Brother David.
Thank you so much, panel. This has really been energizing. Just thank you. Quickly, I want to get responses from your perspectives on when you get no answer. When there's crickets, a lot of people are freaking out now after putting a lot of hard effort into searching for work. And then the second question is an illustration. If you look up and down DC, a lot of strip malls, particularly restaurants, are closing down. Obviously, without blaming the victim, it's an indictment of the research you need to do to create a business. But is there something more? It seems to me like AI offers an opportunity to go beyond the conventional mainstream messages that you know there's a viability that isn't there. That makes sense.
Courtney, sure.
Just to address the crickets situation, there's a lot of crickets, and I know there always are a lot of crickets in job searches, and that is unfortunately the nature of it. And while it's super hard to not be discouraged, it also, I can tell you 100% from a recruiter's perspective, it's not you. It's not a personal rejection. Recruiting in particular is very sort of, as I said, it's a bit conservative. We're less conservative in our approach, but in general it is. I say stay in touch with the people who said no. That question came up earlier. I'm friends with a lot of the people that I've turned down in my recruiting position, and I'm still friends with them, and I've also put them forward for other jobs. So that's the same with anybody who says no. Stay in touch. If they say no for financing, stay in touch. There will be opportunities.
But I want to say that Courtney does that because she goes to Metropolitan and she's a wonderful human being.
Stay connected to your community. When my restaurant closed and when I lost, I thought everything, one thing that saved me was family and community. And in that community, they will see what you can't see for you. And if the faith is then full or poured back into you in that moment, because now you're serving. When we launched D&D Black Restaurant Week, everyone told me I was crazy. But I knew my experiences of running and losing a restaurant would be valuable to somebody. And it was valuable to hundreds of people all across the country. So I ask that you serve. You find what's in you to do that is valuable first to you. It fills you up. And then you have the community connect and they will fill into you. And then you will get into service, will attract your next. Because as long as you have breath, you're valuable and there is a need for you. And I ask that you continue to serve.
Thank you, and I'm going to build on that a little bit. I've known a lot of people who have sent out hundreds, thousands of applications. It's so easy to do now online and do that. And I really think that I have seen that it's helpful if you limit yourself. I am going to look for jobs online. I'm going to apply 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day. The rest of the time, you take care of yourself, because when you get into that, I have to give out 100 more, 100 more, 100 more, one's going to hit. I think it's more of a downward spiral than it is sort of successful. So I think it's being a little bit more selective in where you're looking and what you're applying for, and adding all these other things about networking and keeping in touch with people and keeping your eyes and ears out for what's going on.
I just want to add something to the last two panels. Also, there's a lot of free events. So if you're not working and you're applying for jobs, 99free.com, that's me all day. Go to the events, there's free. You sit in this room, I don't know if you know each other or one another. There's somebody sitting right here in this room you don't know, they can help you. So go to the events, spend time online applying for jobs, use AI safely, ethically, and wisely, but your community and your network is your net worth. So go to the free events. Eventbrite.com is this one platform you can use. Go on the websites to look for the events, show up, and don't leave until you meet someone. Go to the room to get the information, but network and meet people and stay in touch. Connect with them on LinkedIn and stay in touch.
And actually respond to them.
Yes, please respond.
And Angel says, actually, do you want to expound, Angel, to say that? And please actually respond to them. And a shout out to your husband whose like arm has got to be tired. You really, man, you gotta keep holding up thing the whole time. Yeah. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to address my question to Mr. Tate and Andrew. It's in regards to financing from the district government. I've had a business in DC for the past 3 years, has not been profitable. I would like to apply for angel endowment or grant monies. Is that available if you haven't had a profitable business?
All right.
It's much more challenging to obtain. You got to be able to show why things will be changing. Where you'll be able to become profitable. When banks, grant makers, or whomever give you money, they're giving you money on the fact that it'll help sustain you and get you to the next step, and they'll be repaid. And in fact, for loans, but if it's grants, they want to know that money's being used well. So you've got to be able to show them that. You got to be able to show them why your business, understand why your business isn't profitable today. What is the plan to get profitable? And they've got to be able to believe in that one. It is much more challenging if you've got a history of lack of profitability.
What kind of business do you have, sister?
I am selling goods from Dakar, Africa.
Got it. Okay, cool. So Life Assets is a VC-based nonprofit that gives loans up into like $10,000. They start you, but they use the SUSU where method where you have to be with at least 3 others, right? The reason I asked what kind of business you're in because the other revenue comes from connecting to like-minded businesses. So you're getting your imports from somewhere, right? So Life Assets is a place that you can borrow money and pay 6% interest back, which helps build up your business credit. But I want you to also understand that there's people credit. Link up with other people who are doing the exact same things and identify how you all can best use the money that you already have collectively, if that makes sense. So you're looking for outside funding, but I want you to look into your community to identify what type of funding or resources that can generate from you working together.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask the hard question. What are you gonna do differently to make sure that the business actually makes money? Because just because somebody kind of gives you funding, what are you gonna do to ensure that it turns around? Like, have you identified your target market? Do you know who you're marketing to? Do you know if those people exist here? Is it something that should just be online? Like, have you identified those things to ensure that it's a viable business and not just a hobby?
Well, after listening to everyone on the panel, it's like you've been watering my seed. And now I feel like I can go to the biz and the urban development, even look at your book, with the hustle flow in mind, to see how I can build on the new AI trend and
Thank
focus
you.
out
Our
at
final questions.
my
Let me
business.
remind you all that QR codes are here for some of our panelists. Please scan those so that you can participate in the work they're doing. 2 final questions.
Thank you.
Yes.
I have a short question. We have so many, and I'm not looking for anything. I like my retirement. But however, I do see so many black men with records. How can we get them involved and back into the employment cycle? That's what I'm interested in.
Thank you. So just like what I said with the sister and my panelist just said, at the Greater Washington Urban League, we launched a new program with the help of concerned black men we call it the Fatherhood Blueprint, where we are literally bringing us men together. And there's something that happens, there's a synergy that happens when you get around people who are doing what you want to do. And in doing that, best practices happen. So as our returning Sid brothers come home, I inspire them to first look within and switch that mindset. They already have a skill. But how did that skill connect to something that they want to do to make the world a better place? And in doing that service and connecting to churches like this and other communities or mosques, that brother begins to realize that he's not by himself in coming home. And he's coming home to get to work. And he's coming home not just for a job, but he's coming home to make an impact that makes his home, his environment, better than when he left it. And so I hope I answered your question, is to let him know it's a journey, and that journey needs to be connected to as many things that fill him so that he may fill others. The Fatherhood Blueprint at the Greater Washington Urban League.
Fatherhood Blueprint. And just to let you know, I teach financial literacy. There's something called the Second Chance Coalition, and I can give you the information. And the Pivot program at Georgetown University, they just had a major conference for justice-impacted individuals. The last question I have is, there are a couple of people, including myself. Angel, if we want to hire you to build a marketing plan for a nonprofit or somebody has a business, can just go right to your website?
You can go to angelnicole.us, so not the one that's up there, but my QR code has a lot of my information that people can scan and be able to connect with me. I just also wanted to share another resource. I wrote a book called The 30-Day Visionary Archangel Dreamcatcher. And this book specifically helps people identify what their goals are and really take the time to write down day by day, like there's different prompts to help you to respond to what is most important to you getting to where you actually want to be. I think a lot of times we have the vision, but we don't have everything written out. And so it stays in a stagnant place. But when you continuously, every day, you're taking a step to delve deeper. You're taking a step to be able to say, this is something that I am doing to get me to my end goal. Then you can see progress over 30 days versus being exactly where you are a year later that you can make transitions to in 30 days. And I actually have that book with me.
Thank you. So, beloved, we want to thank our panel. Put your hands together for these extraordinary. I don't know if you were voluntold here or you just did so out of the abundance of your own generosity, but please know, as I've heard from many of you, that what you are sharing is adding value to us. And I want to thank Metropolitan for being the kind of congregation that Daniel Alexander Payne Community Development Corporation, for being the kind of institution that understands that this is our work. Now, if I am in order, team,